Everyone for joining us today. An exciting time for the Sydney Kings, being able to announce bringing another Sydney local and former NBA player in Jonah Bolden to Sydney. Obviously a big fan favourite, and bringing another Bolden back into the fold, but could be more excited for what this means for our club and being part of Jonah's journey. And he's been great over the last couple of weeks to get to this point, and yeah, just really excited what this means for the club and our chances of being competitive for next season. So thank you all for joining, and free to take questions, both Jonah and I.
Before we get to Jonah, could you walk us through the process, the timeline of getting Jonah to become a Sydney King?
I think I joked to you about this a couple of days ago, but I first called his agent about 4 years ago, but I think the prospect of getting him back then was a little more challenging. And he's an unbelievable player. So for us, it was, when it became an option, a month or so ago, we really lent in. We wanted to do our due diligence. We had a lot of calls and people involved with Luke Longley and our medical team, and being able to have Jonah come out to Sydney and to come see our staff and our facilities and work out with us and build some rapport. And so it's been an ongoing process, but something, again, I think we've taken our time and make sure that both of us are really comfortable with the process and getting to this stage.
He's been away from the game for a few years. What are you expecting from him physically to start off, and on the court? What is the ceiling, do you think, for when he hits the ground running?
I mean, ceiling, he's higher than anyone in this league. I mean, you can stay away from the game, but I said coming in, you don't lose being 6'10". You don't lose being physical and having great touch and range, right? I think it's repetitions and getting back into the feel. And for us, it's more getting back into being game ready, right? Physicality is one thing, but even just, he stayed in unbelievable shape. And so it's getting back to being game ready. And we know that's going to be a process. We're not shying away from that. But how hard he's been working and how hard we want to work together over the next couple of months is important, but we know it's going to be a process. And I think we're all leaning in and excited about that. So the expectations are there that this isn't something opening night where expectations are high, but for us the ceiling is higher than anyone, we think, in the NBL.
Jonah, has it sunk in for you yet that you're in this building, you're playing for your home city, you're a Sydney King like your dad? Has that sunk in?
Yes and no. I think for me it'll truly sink in once I'm in the jersey, on the court, really feeling how the ambiance with the team. Yes, I mean getting to where I'm at here with the team definitely sunk in. I'm excited more than ever. But I would say I'm more excited to be able to kind of get back within the lines on the court with the guys and get going.
How are you feeling physically and from a basketball perspective? Are you prepared to get back to where you once were and then even more?
Yeah. To answer your preparedness question, yeah, more prepared than ever. Feeling-wise, I feel great. I've been maintaining good, wellness and health around the body. If anything, I've taken more of a magnified attention to myself in terms of that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a process day by day. But yeah.
How would you rate your performances over the last few years?
Performances over the last few years?
I guess your physical health and how you're feeling now that you're coming back into the game.
Great. Like I said, if anything, the time away has allowed me to really focus on maintaining good health in my body, whether that's diet, day-to-day stuff, like I said, wellness. I'm doing a lot more yoga, getting out and kind of just maintaining, not necessarily on the court, when I first kind of took off, but as of late, last 6 months, has been a lot more on court. Body-wise, now I'm back fully in the gym, working out, lifting, so yeah.
And let's talk about some of your goals. So obviously you've played for the Boomers before, and the Paris Olympics are kind of just around the corner. Would you be hoping to go back to playing on the international stage as well? Yeah,
that's definitely an option. Personally, I think my mindset right now is here with the Kings. That's obviously number one priority, but it's definitely not off the table. I think with where I expect myself to be come season, mid-season, end of season, it's a high probability.
And playing for this team, they've obviously won straight, back-to-back titles. How does that feel? And also, obviously, your dad's legacy is in the corners of this gym as well. How is it all coming to you right now?
It's huge. That's kind of one of the contributing factors to me to really wanting to come and play with these guys. Organization, Chris himself, the whole kind of back end staff. Going down to the players that are going to be coming back this next year. Playing style. Seeing how it's very translatable to nowadays to the kind of NBA, stretching the floor, whether that's whoever's getting the rebound running, is very suitable to my game, and I'm super excited to be a part of it.
How much did that playing style play a role in you seeing guys like you excel? Jarrell Martin's one, Xavier Cooks is one. That's the sort of skill set that's excelled here. Did that play a role in you wanting to come here and excel here?
Yeah, most definitely. Xavier's a good friend, and he surprised me in that sense, where he took his game to another level, and seeing the platform he got, and seeing the team around him working with him, playing that style, coaches giving that freedom, it's always really good. So for me, it was just kind of a no-brainer in that sense, seeing how translatable and versatile myself with the team. So it really was kind of like a no-brainer in the sense of playing style.
Did you get a chance to watch DJ Hogue at all last year, or maybe through the years in the G League? Have you seen his game, and is there an excitement level about you teaming up in the front court with him?
Yeah, I actually played with DJ, the Blue Coats, for that little short stint there with the Sixers. I didn't see too much of him at Cairns. The last few days I scoped out a few some highlights and stuff. But his game, if anything, hasn't changed. It's just kind of taken a step up. More consistent, like I said, stretch the floor. Kind of, you got a guy that's coming in, and you can kind of rely on what he does. And like I said, it's very translatable. Whether that's me at the 5, him at the 4, whatever it is, we've always kind of had a knack for one another.
Chris, you had an idea about that versatility and having Jonah at the 5, DJ at the Hogue, at the 4, you've got Geordie Hunter as well. A lot of versatile pieces. How much did that play a role in bringing him in, and do you have sort of dreams about different lineups that you guys can throw out there?
Of course. That's the coach's job, coming in. But for me, I think that's what's most attractive is his versatility, his ability to stretch the floor. And you referenced Zave and Jarrell Martin, and the way we've had success in the past is having guys that can pull it off the rim and get up and go, right, and not handing it off to a guard and play, much more half-court basketball and playing with fast pace. And Jonah's athleticism, I think, is going to be a tough matchup for a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s in this league. So being able to play Jonah at the 5, DJ at the 4, sliding down DJ at the 3, Jonah at the 4, Geordie at the 5, Quat at the 4. Again, we've got such versatility in the roster we've made, but it also gives us flexibility with the remaining imports and how we structure it to complement Jonah, to complement DJ, to complement all of the other pieces we have on the roster, which is important. I think that's, for us, was a huge win. And knowing the type of player he is and the upside there, again, we see that filtering into any coach coming in being able to utilise him in the best way.
Have you focused yet on any of the processes in place to get Jonah to be playing ready? Obviously he's in good shape, but being in game shape is a different story. What kind of processes are in place there to make sure that he is?
Yeah, Jody going back to the US, and he's got a great setup out there, out in Irvine, with access to a gym and court facilities and scrimmages, but connecting the team out there with our medical team, performance team, so we can structure programs. But I think it's continuous reps, right? Repetitions, but scrimmages, playing games, but also not overloading it. I think, again, it's going to be a growing process where we've all got to be on the exact same page, and I think we've got those processes starting to be filtered out and in place, and it's going to be a work in progress. But getting him back here in advance, right before training camp and leading in, we've got 3 months before the season tips up, 3.5 months. So while if it's not then and it filters into the season, again, we've got an extended period of time. It's not like it's something a week around the corner.
And Chris, obviously you've just talked about coaches. You've only got a few months until the next season. How's the coach search going?
Long and but detailed. Again, we've taken a global approach and really just cast a wide net, I guess, with the type of coach we want to bring in, and we only want to bring in a coach that's going to fit the system that we see succeeding here, but also the players that we have on roster. So, that process is still ongoing, and we hope it's going to be concluded soon. And we're thrilled with the type of candidates that we've had come forward.
I mean, it's pretty tough to fill Chase's shoes. He's brought back-to-back championships.
Yep.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
No, Chase, again, Chase is the success we've had here under our recent coaches, but particularly Chase, it is tough shoes to fill. And I think any incoming coach is going to be aware that that's a challenge, right? But I think the people that we do want to bring in embrace that. They've got to embrace it. And I think it is a similar playing style where it is, again, fast-paced, exciting basketball. I think for our fans as well, we've grown accustomed to that style of play, and that's shown success in this league. And I think that ties into the type of player Jonah is, where if we're for 40 minutes grinding teams down and playing fast with a deep bench that's just continuous punch after punch, it wears teams down. I think that's why, again, we've been able to be two-time champions and want to chase a third. But for us, it's starting back at, what's the next goal ahead, and we're not looking back at the last two championships. It's just the season coming up.
And Jonah, obviously we talked a lot about your father, but what ways are you, maybe not better, but different?
Different to my dad, you're saying? Yeah, I think versatility, height-wise, a few inches. Shooting-wise, I think I could stretch the floor a little further. He was, killer mid-range. He definitely, that's something that I, definitely in this next, round for me, kind of really want to focus on mid-range, getting to where he was. But he had also the physicality, where he's a bit bulkier, a lot more stronger. And that's something that I know I want to focus a lot on myself. But I think there's a few things that I think I have under the belt on him. So.
Yeah, awesome. And would you see yourself going back to the NBA if things go well here, or is your focus purely on kids right now?
Like I said before, my focus is honestly right here. If everything plays out well, things happen, whatever. My mindset is purely here. I'm honestly just happy to be able to play the game again and be with a team, be with an organization that allows me to, give what I can and vice versa, receive back the love from the game and the team. I've come to a point now where I'm not necessarily worried too much about the future, right? You can't really control what you can't control. So I think, focusing on things that I can control and what, we as an organization and team can control, things will play out however they end up playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are you most looking forward to this upcoming season?
Being with a team like this, organization like this, and playing with guys that appreciate and love to be on a team that gets together, grinds it out, like Chris said, for 40 minutes straight runs. Like I said, the fun for me is just playing. I've never been like a score first or a ball first kind of guy. I always love to kind of set someone else up, or whether that's we're good on a roll and that's me taking some time off and the guys are going, and just seeing that is always good. So there's multiple things that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'd say the number one thing is just being back in the game, in the heart of things, the excitement of the fans, the support, and the game in and of itself.